Okay, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This series is specifically designed for machine learning project development. And in the last few videos, we have seen that how we can set up our first notebook on Kaggle. And we have also seen that how many steps are there in machine learning model development. So in this video, I will be starting with the first step, that is how to deal with the Python libraries. And it is very important for you to learn the purpose of each library that we are going to use for the whole process of any machine learning model development. And one thing is common in all these libraries is that you have to use all these libraries again and again for every each and every new model. And this is also an advantage for you to learn these for once and then apply these libraries again and again in your machine learning models. The first library that we are going to learn today is the Pandas library, and we are going to use it for our data analysis and data set loading. So, introduction to Pandas. Before moving to the practical, we should understand why do we need Pandas library in our machine learning environment. Pandas library is specifically used for dealing with the data set, and you can create different you can say functions, or you can use different functions within Pandas library to look at the data set. Sometimes we need to explore more about the data set before moving towards the machine learning training, data set training, or model training. And this is the first step, as we have seen in the last video. The first step in any model is to load libraries and load the data set. Now this is where Pandas come into play, that you can load your data set and you can also look deeper into the data set using this Pandas library. And it has some built-in functions that we can use to learn and to explore the data set. We can see how many missing values are there in the data set. If any value that you want to drop, you can also drop that specific column. And if you have a data set in your raw form, you can convert that data into a tabular form. As you know that most of the time when we deal with the data science and machine learning projects, we need to convert the data into tabular form. It means rows and columns. That's where we have to use Pandas library, and we will see in this video that how you can use uh, different functions within Pandas library to convert your raw data into um, refined data that we can use later on for the model training and model development. Now, whenever you are going to load any library in a notebook, you have to use import function. So I'm going to import Pandas library, Pandas as PD. Now PD is a short name that I have given to this Pandas library. So whenever I'm going to use Pandas library, I can use this name that I have given here. This is very short name so that we can use it easily. Now run this cell. Uh, for the first time, it will take some time because you can see this notebook is loading, and the resources behind this notebook uh, are refreshing and restarting. So you have to wait for initial cell to be executed. And now I think it started, and you can see they have allocated you some hard drive, CPU, and RAM, and you can also see its usage here. Now once it is executed, if there is no error, it means that your library is loaded perfectly fine. So if for example I give a wrong name, you can see this module is not found. So when you are going to load it perfectly fine, then we can move to the next step. Now I will create some a dictionary where I'm going to save the data of some students. So for example name, so for example I can give name like Mike, and next name is John, and then it's for example Dave. The next field is their age. As you know that age is numerical data, so I can set as 20 and 19 and 22. And the last is their marks. So these are their marks. For example, Mike got 72, and then John got 66, 65, and Dave got 80 marks. Now the this is the data that we have. If you print this data, for example, if I print this data, let's see how it will look like. So we got one error here, so run this again, and you can see this is how your data is looking right now. But when we deal with the statistics or when we deal with the data science, we normally need data in the form of tabular form, means rows and columns. This is where Pandas library will be very useful. So let's convert this data into a data frame. Now data frame is a specific term that is used for converting the raw data into tabular form. So let's convert this data into tabular form. So as you know that we have imported our library in this variable pd, so I'm going to use pd dot data frame. This is the function, built-in function by Panda, that we can use Pandas function, and the data that we want to convert is this data variable. Okay, so we are now going to convert this specific, so we can name this as new data just to avoid any confusion here. So I'm going to convert this data into tabular form. Now let's print this data again and see how it will be transformed. You can see now it is in rows and columns form. You can see there are three columns: name, age, and marks. And now it looks much better as compared to this one. So this is one of the very important function that we are going to use in upcoming videos, where we are going to load our data set and then we are going to convert that data set into tabular form. Now there are some very interesting functions inside Pandas library that you can use for exploratory data analysis. You can look into some missing values, or if you want to fill some values, or if you want to drop a column, then we can use these functions. Now for example, if there is a data set that is having around 100,000 values. In this example, we only have three values. But just imagine if you have a data set of 100,000 values and you only need first 10 values or first 5 values. Now what to do with that? So you can use different functions. Similarly, if you want to get last 5 values or last 10 values or last 100 values, you can also use that. Now for the first values, we can use data.tail function. So let's use this function, new underscore data, and we are going to use head function. And whatever the number of values you need, you can give it here. For example, I need, from the beginning, I need first value. So if you run this, you can see you will get the first value in this data set. And if you will type 2 here, you will get two values. Now let's let's find the last values inside the data. So we are going to use dot tail function, and whatever the number of values you need, you can give it here. By default, if you don't give any value here, by default it will pick 5 values. So you can see we only have 3 values in the data set. That is why it will automatically print all those values. For example, if I give only one parameter here, then you can see the last value or last record is printed here. This is the function of head and tail, that it gives first and last values of the data set. Now using this function, now you can note here that we have not used PD here. This is the question, but uh, the answer of this one is that we already converted our data using our data frame. Now you can use this new variable and you can explore the data set. Now for example, I want to know about the number of rows and number of columns inside this data set. So that will be shape function. Let's use this. And now we have to use new data variable. Okay, so we don't need these brackets here. And you can see 3 by 3, it means there are 3 rows and 3 columns. This is 3 by 3 data set. Now next one, if you want to uh, knew more about the data, then we can use describe function. Let's see. And this is very useful function inside Pandas library that gives us the overall mathematical statistics about the data set. Count, total values are 3, mean value of each, then uh, it is also giving the standard deviation, minimum value 25%, 50%, 75%, and maximum value in each column. Then further you can explore about the data dot we have already used tail head. Let's try info function. It will give us the information about the data set, data underscore new, and I think we are not using this one. New data underscore new, oh sorry, we new underscore data, and you can see this is the information about the data. And next, you can also find null values. For example, new underscore data dot is null. This function is used to find any missing values, or if there is any null value inside your data set, so you can use that. Data frame has no object is null. We can use is null. I think this function is there. New data and is null. Okay, we can work on this one. um, let's find the or let's find a specific column. So new underscore data, and let's find a specific column, for example age, and you can see that specific column will be printed only. Similarly, if let's try a mathematical operation here and see if it works. And you can see, uh, if you want to add or increment one value to all the columns, that you can also do here. So previously it was 20, 19 and 22, and after adding you can get 21, 20, 20 and 23. This is how you can also increment values within the pandas library. So these are some of the exploratory functions that you can use in pandas library, and most of the time you are going to use these functions, basic functions, inside inside your notebook for development of machine learning model. As of course this is the first step to move towards the data or machine learning model, because once you will upload the data or once you will start with the data, definitely you have to look into the data, you have to do the exploratory data analysis, and you also need to find the missing values, you also need to transform the data. So for that reason we have to use pandas library. Now this is the data frame that we have used here, but now let's try to upload our own data set using a file here. So I'm going to upload a data set in the form of Excel file. So this is pandas testing private, keep it private, create, and we are going to use the CSV data. The good thing about pandas library is that you can use this library to deal with any kind of data. It can be in Excel form, it can be in CSV form, it can be in any other form that you can use. Now let's load this data into our environment. This is how we are going to use this. So let's create a new cell. I'm going to mark this as a um, loading CSV data set. Now this is the second part where we are going to deal with the specific file. Most of the time you are going to upload your data set in the form of CSV or Excel file. So let's load this data. This I will give this as custom data is equal to, now I'm going to use pd dot read underscore CSV. So pandas library has different functions to read different files. Like right now we are going to use CSV file, so you can use this function that is called read CSV. So now which file we want to read, you just need to go to this file here and copy this path here and just paste it here directly, and it will automatically pick this. If it is not giving any error, it means it has loaded the data. Now just print this data just to verify that this data set is loaded, and you can see now this file is completely loaded into my notebook, and now I can use this for my analysis. Now again we are going to repeat the same steps just to find different answers to our questions. For example, let's see how many let's see the data dot uh, custom underscore data dot head. It will give us, let's print first 10 values only, and you can see it will only print first 10 values. This is the data set of housing, different houses and their prices, price of this house, then area, bedroom, and all different columns here. Now let's print the last 10 values. So custom underscore data dot tail function and give it 10 values, and it will print last 10 values, and you can see the last value is 544. Now from this one, let's see how many columns are there and how many uh, rows are there. So for that one we are going to use shape function, custom, we have this variable. It means there are 545 rows and 13 column, and by this one you can also verify there are 13 column and 545 rows. Now definitely the other functions can also be used, custom underscore data dot describe, and you can see it will give us the uh, mean, mode values, and also standard mathematical values here for each column that is having numbers. Then you can also use shape is already done, tail is already done, and then I think we have covered most of the, yeah, most of the functions. So this is how you can explore different uh, data sets using pandas library. You can convert that data set into any raw data set into data frame, and then you can also apply different data exploratory analysis, and you can also upload your own data set in the form of csv file, in the form of excel file, and then you can explore, or you can do analysis of the data to find any missing value, to understand the data, because this is the core step where we are going to understand the data set that we are going to work on later on. So I hope this video is useful for you, and in the next video we are going to explore our next library, that is numpy library, that is also very useful, and later on we will work on some other libraries. So please like this video so you can find more videos like this in future. Thank you so much for watching this video. See you in next video.